Hare Krishna, good morning. This morning we will read from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 9, text 17. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayana Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottanam
Narayana
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudirayat Nastabesya Bhatesya Nityam Bhartasya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhakti Naistike. Text 17. Tasmatidam daivaitantam Tasmatidam daivatantam Vyasasaya bharatasava Tasyana vedo nata Nata pai pacha prabho Tasmatidam daivatantam Vyasasya bharatasava Tasyana vedo nata Nata pai pacha prabho Tasmatidam daivatantam Vyavasya bharatasava Tasyana vedo nata Nata pai pacha prabho Tasmatidam daivatantam Vyavasya bharatasava Tasyana vedo nata Nata pai pacha prabho Tasmatidam daivatantam Vyavasya bharatasava Tasyana vedo nata
Natapani Praja Prabhu.
Nata pai pacha prabho. Word for word translation. Tasmat, therefore, idam, this, daivatantam, enchantment of providence only, vyavasya, ascertaining, bharatarishaba, O best among the descendants of Bharat, Tasya, by him, Anuvihita, as desired.
as desired.
Anatta, helpless. Nata, O Master, Pahi, just take care of
Just take care of
Pacha, of the subjects. Prabhu, O Lord. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O best among the descendants of Bharat, Yudhishthira, I maintain therefore that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. Purport. The popular saying is that a housewife teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. Similarly, the Lord teaches the world by teaching the devotee. The devotee does not have to learn anything new from the Lord, because the Lord teaches the sincere devotee always from within. Whenever, therefore, a show is made to teach the devotee, as in the case of teachings of Bhagavad Gita, it is for teaching the less intelligent man. A devotee's duty, therefore, is to ungrudgingly accept revelations from the Lord as a benediction. The Pandavas were advised by Bhishmadev to accept the responsibility of administration without hesitation. The poor subjects were without protection due to the battle of Kurukshetra, and they were awaiting the assumption of power of Maharaj Yudhishthira. A pure devotee of the Lord accepts revelations as favors from the Lord. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no mundane difference between the two. Tasmapidam daivaitantam vyasasya bhatasya no vito nata paipachan prabho. Or best among the descendants of Bharat Yudhishthira. I maintain, therefore, that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. Om Ajnanatimalasya Janansanasana Shakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swamrapakadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shigo Shiyuda Padkanam Shigam Vaishnavam Sam Shirupam Jagajatam Sakanaragnatam Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Svasapadutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Hadevam Shri Rama Krishna Padan Sagalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sam He Krishna Karuna Sinudina Banga Chatpate Kopesha Kopkakantaran Kantamastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Rande Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhana Sutadevi Panamana Hare Avanka Kalpata Vishanke Pasan Vedasha Patanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Krishna Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhuttale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paspachaya Dajata I'm asking the blessings of the devotees so that I can say something meaningful. That Bhishma Dev's instructions here are instructions for the entire world. We can learn so much from the Mahajans that because people are in need of a spiritual leader, that and the best leader in a country is a Mahabhagavat. That a Mahabhagavat devotee of the Lord, he should lead all the others. That and this Mahabhagavat that Lord Krishna wanted to be on the throne is Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he felt pain. He said, so many thousands have been killed to bring me on the throne. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking, he was fighting in the battle of Kurukshetra. I've killed so many that so I will go to hell. Because he was thinking that the kingdom was going all right under the rule of Duryodhana, that Duryodhana was ruling according to the Vedic principles, and the population was nicely taking care of him, and now we had to fight. So why uselessly killing so many? Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, the Lord teaches the world to his devotee. But the devotee, he's already instructed by the Lord from within the heart. The Dhammi Buddhi Yogam Tam. He receives already instructions. He does not need to be instructed. But yes, there are many ways how the Lord teaches the world to his devotees. So, as Radhanath Maharaj spoke about this, about Prahlad Maharaj, that after the prayers he rendered to Lord Nrsimhadev, Prahlad Maharaj was worshipping a Shalagram Shila, that he was thinking that it's due to me that my father has been killed. Because Lord Nrsimhadev appeared to kill my father because of me. So yes, he was thinking the fault lies in me. The devotee always thinks the fault lies in me. But the Salagram Shila spoke and said, yeah, your father has been killed by his own sins. And I gave him liberation due to your spiritual progress. Similarly, Maharaj Yudhishthira was faultless. What had Kurus done to him, to the Pandavas? They were exiled for 12 years. Even while they were in the forest in exile, that Duryodhana sent them money to just to cause them trouble, even during the exile. And then the attempt to disrobe Draupadi, being nearly burnt in a house of shellac, Bhima poisoned by cake that time. And the Pandavas, Krishna tried to mediate, but it didn't help. That to make peace, of course, Krishna wanted the battle to happen. That was his plan. But the Pandavas said to Duryodhana, okay, you can have the kingdom, but we are Kshatriyas, we must rule. Give us at least 5 villages to rule. And Duryodhana said, no, I won't give you even enough land to put the head of a needle through. That's so yes, we see Prahlad Maharaj had also to sit on the throne. Dhruva Maharaj also. He didn't want it anymore, but he desired it before. And so Lord Krishna Garba Vishnu said, yeah, now you have to rule for 32,000 years. The entire universe. So yes. But yeah, it's an inconceivable nature of a devotee. It's completely opposite to the material world. In the material world, if something goes wrong, they blame always the others, not me. They blame others for their own mistakes and failures. They go into the victim mentality. I'm the victim. The fault lies by all the others. And by that, no way to hear good advice. False ego is in between. Like Dhritarashtra, when this intrigue came up of the curse against the Pandavas and Duryodhana, Akrura, who was in Dwarka, was sent to Hastinapur to investigate what's going on. He investigated and he spoke with Dhritarashtra. And he said to Dhritarashtra, you should give the Pandavas their legal heritage. Don't fight with them. You can split the kingdom in two. They could both rule. And he gave so much advice. But Dhritarashtra said, oh, Akrura, this is very good advice. But it's going to my heart like a lightning. It cannot stay in my heart due to attachment to my sons. So he could not accept good advice. You see also here, Bhishmadev, he was maintained by the king, by Duryodhana, by the king. And therefore he was fighting at the side of Duryodhana. But Bhishmadev knew the Kurus would lose the battle because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. He knew. But one day, Duryodhana challenged Bhishmadev. You are not fighting at your full strength because of affection for the Pandavas. But Bhishmadev, next day, because he had the strength of 10,000 elephants, practically, and he was Bhishmadev, he got a benediction not to die. Only he would die when he desired. But next day, he fought as as a cyclone, finishing a big part of the Pandava army. It was too much for the Pandavas. That was the military power of Bhishmadev. That Bhishmadev said, I can kill anyone, but not the Pandavas, because they are protected by Krishna. He knew that. Because also, Krishna promised Queen Kunti that her sons would survive the Battle of Kurukshetra. So that day when Bhishma fought so heavily, in the evening, the Pandavas, in the dark of the night, they went to the other camp and went into the tent of Bhishmadev. And Bhishmadev received them with affection, and they touched the feet of Bhishmadev, all the Pandavas, and they asked his blessings to kill him. Can you imagine that it was very painful for the Pandavas to ask this, that their heart was full of agony to ask these questions. But of course, to understand the answer of Bhishmadev, we need to go back in the history where he was fighting at a certain moment at the Svayamvar that means a king who is given the hands of his daughters on the condition that the Kshatriya would show his strength. So Bhishmadev went. There were this king had 3 daughters. I forget his name, but anyway, he was fighting with the other kings and defeated them. And so he won the 3 princesses, but he had a vow to not to marry. So he was not fighting to marry them, but to give them in marriage to his to the kings, to his family members. I don't know where, but anyway. But one of these princesses he won was Amba, and when Bhishmadev brought them home, then Amba said, "Yeah, I gave my heart to someone else, to Salva. So I cannot marry your family member, or my heart is with someone else." And Bhishmadev said, "Okay, you go to Salva." And she goes to Salva, and Salva says, "I don't want you. You have been touched by Bhishmadev, that he won you. You go back." And then she went to Bhishmadev and said, "So you have to marry me." And Bhishmadev said, "No, I made a vow not to marry." Then the mother of the kings at the time, Satyavati, said to Bhishmadev, "You have to marry us." And also Satyavati, Amba went to Parasuram, who was the spiritual master, the guru of Bhishmadev. And he also said, "You have to marry her." And Vishnu said, "No, I made a vow." So, and then Parasuram said, "Then you have to fight with me." And they were fighting. And he defeated his guru. And the guru went back to Amba and said, sorry, nothing I can do. I did my best, but he will not marry you. And Satya, then Amba said that, yeah, now I'm like I'm like a widow, that I cannot go back home anymore, and you reject me. So she was doing austerities in the forest with the purpose in her next life to kill Bhishmadev. And when she left her body, she took birth again as Shikandi. That's the whole story, Shikandi, because it took birth as a woman first. It's a whole story. But anyway, so therefore, when the Pandavas went to Bhishmadev and asked him, how can we kill you? He said, yes, you can kill me when Arjuna gets Shikandi as his chariot driver. And he hides behind Shikandi because Vishnudev says Shikandi is a woman. He knew that she was meant to kill him. And I will never fight against a woman. So Shikandi was shooting arrows to Bhishmadev, and Bhishmadev was just receiving them. He was not fighting at all. So the next day, it was the 8th day of the battle, I think, or the 10th day that Bhishmadev so the arrangement was made that Shikandi would be the chariot driver, and Arjun would shoot arrows. So Shikandi would go aside for a moment and he would shoot his arrows into Bhishmadev. And Bhishmadev would not do anything. And that's how we received all these arrows. And it was like he was lying on a bed of arrows, and all the blood went out of his body. But still he would not leave his body. Because here we see Krishna had a purpose. He wanted Bhishmadev to instruct the Pandavas. And these are his instructions. Bhishmadev was trained in the heavenly planets by Brihaspati in all the subtle points of Dharma. So he was learned, and Krishna wanted to glorify him. And he was lying on this bed of arrows. Krishna took all his pain away so that he could speak freely. But factually, he wanted to leave his body at a certain moment, an auspicious moment, when the sun was traveling to the north, and that starts with Makara Sankranti. So he was waiting for this moment to leave his body. And he instructs here all these instructions and he's saying here, no one can understand the plan of the Lord. It's inconceivable but even if you don't understand, still you have to follow the plan. Whatever happiness and distress comes, you have to follow. That's a great instruction for us. And the previous purport is that devotees, when they chant, especially for a long time, and they get purified, they are purified of all their karma. That's good. The heart is purified of all this karma, but still there may be a residue of wanting to enjoy the material world. And therefore Krishna educates us further, trains us further to purify also our desire, to come to the pure desire, to serve Krishna. And therefore, this suffering is nothing else for the devotee as the mercy of the Lord. But here he makes also another point to you, Yudhishthira Maharaj. You have put in that situation to be the king. And now you must do your service. Krishna wants to do your service. You have to give protection to all these helpless people or your helpless subjects. So you must do your duty now as a king. You must follow the plan of the Lord. So that is something we always have to consider in our lives, that we are not, the circumstances we are in are not under our control, that the circumstances are given by the Lord, and we are the servant of these circumstances that Krishna gives us. We must serve in that capacity, and therefore, yes, Vishnudev said, we must follow providence. Providence is nothing else than the plan of the Lord. And we may not understand it, but don't try to find out, he says. You cannot understand the plan of the Lord. You may understand something, but all these subtle things we may not understand. That it's not possible, that Vishnudev said. We must go with the plan of the Lord. Of course, the devotee knows essentially the mission of the Lord. That Yadai Dai Dharmasya Bhaktam Bharata Bhutanam Adharmasya Tatatmam Chichamam Paritranaya Sadhanam Vinasaya. So this goes Samsatya Patanartaya Sambhavami Yuki Yuki. This is the general outline of the plan of the Lord. But how he does that, it's inconceivable. But it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam in the first canto. The Lord appears to reclaim those souls in pure goodness. So it comes to help the devotees to bring them back to the spiritual world. That is his protection. That is, and yes, it comes to teach us. But he uses his devotees to help to teach us. That, like Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna. In the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, you have verses 27, 28. In one purport, Prabhupada said, yes, Arjuna is feeling compassion, because he's a pure devotee. That in the next purpose, that Srila Prabhupada writes, Arjuna's compassion is false. It's due to being influenced by illusion. So one purpose says a pure devotee, and the other purpose says influenced by illusion, by Maya. How is that? But the reality is, yes, is a pure devotee, but he is brought in illusion not by Maya, by the material energy, but by Yoga Maya. Krishna is influencing him so that he has doubts, because he wants that Arjun's service is to help Krishna to facilitate Bhagavad Gita, to speak Bhagavad Gita. So he influences Arjun to have the right doubts so that he asks the right questions, so that Krishna can speak Bhagavad Gita. At first, that's inconceivable, but so he's a pure devotee, but his doubts are not due to the illusory energy, but the spiritual energy factor. So that's how Krishna does things. Arjun is traveling with Krishna from universe to universe, and this is one of his services, to facilitate the speaking of Bhagavad Gita. So this is all the plan of the Lord. But most striking here is that from this chapter, we get an insight of the inner feelings of pure devotees. The devotee always thinks the fault lies in me. That he thinks always, I'm at fault. This is the humility of the devotee. Good. Any questions, comments?
Well, I was just going to mention that it's a very interesting story about Amba, how she became Shikandi.
Yeah.
And her whole purpose of her life became to end, somehow assist in ending the life of Vishnu.
Yeah.
And after Amba was rejected by Vishnu, of course, she herself rejected to marry Vijayavira and Chitrangada. But then she was rejected by Salva, and then she was rejected by Vishnu.
Yeah.
So she went to get advice from so many people. And many people said that, no, we can't help you. Vishnu is too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
He is saintly as well as chivalry. Well, we can't take Vishnu on. So she went to Lord Parshuram.
Mm-hmm.
And Parshuram said to Vishnu that you must take her as your wife. This is Kshatriya Dharma. You stole her, you kidnapped her.
Mm.
You should now accept. That's the Kshatriya Dharma. And Vishnu, of course, didn't want to listen to Parshuram. So Parshuram challenged him. I challenge you to a duel. Come and fight with me. Because I'm going to stand for the rights of Amba.
Mm-hmm.
And you are making her life miserable. Her life is ended, everybody is rejected. And everything that's happening in her life is because of you. Because you kidnapped her at the wrong time. And now you are refusing to accept her. So Vishnu and Parshuram had a big fight. And of course, Vishnu could not win But Parshuram did not lose either. So at that point, Amba became so uh, uh, remorseful that my life is finished. Even Parshuram himself, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, cannot protect me. Who will protect me? So I had to perform tapasya. At that point, she went to perform tapasya. And her wish was to be somehow be an accessory. She knew that no matter what happens, I cannot kill Vishnu. But she wanted to be the accessory to for Vishnu to be killed. And that's why she took birth as Shikandi, the son of Draupadi. And she did her job. It's very interesting pastime of
Yeah.
Mahabharata.
That's so many details
Thank you, Maharaj.
of the life of Vishnu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to welcome you to Vancouver. I'm sorry I did not have a chance to come so far. I've been busy with so many things. But I've been trying. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your enlightening lecture.
That's it. Any other question? Good. Thank you very much. Dante Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.